it's Tom Stoukas coming to you from Sarnia, Ontario tonight, September 27th. Saturday night. Beautiful day today. Looks like we're going to have a lot of nice weather. Clear, sunny skies for the next few days. That's good. Nothing too crazy today on X for me. Just a lot of kind of foreboding I see a lot of on X. I think there's going to be a big crackdown on the internet. We've been getting too much free speech lately for the last couple years. That's got to stop. So, I don't know. There's a lot of ominous signs, I think, coming down the pipe. And usually when they want to clamp down on free speech, and especially on the internet, especially on X, because X is like the Wild West compared to the other social media networks. TikTok for the younger ones too. But usually when they clamp down on free speech, they want to control a story, like when they did with COVID or all the LGBTQ madness. They censored and kicked people off. So that's what usually. So who knows what they're going to be trying to push once they start censoring people. And so today, what Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was saying how they took down Twitter. Basically, some Jewish billionaires who are very pro-Israel. They contribute a lot of money to Israel and the Israel Defense Forces. It was Larry Ellison, CEO of Oracle. Super rich, super powerful. They took over TikTok. And TikTok's been a problem for Israel because a lot of young people use it, and it's been very pro-Palestinian. Even with the TikTok kind of clamping down on it, it's still really pro-Palestinian. So now they said they're going to come in, Netanyahu, meeting with all these influencers, so they're going to come in and change that. And X, they're going to do X too. They're going to talk to Elon, his friend, their friend. So they're going to clamp down, and I think it's going to be in Canada too, but not necessarily. Like I think in the U.S. they're going to do the clamp down is on like they're going to use the anti-Semitism to justify it, and then whatever else they don't like they'll censor. I think in Canada it's not going to be the anti-Semitism that they're going to use. I think it's going to be anti-immigrant. They're going to say it's racist hate speech. So that's what I think they'll try to do in Canada. While in the States they'll use the anti-Semitism excuse. But I think it's coming. We'll see if how quick and how bad it is. And that's the main story that caught me. I feel it's coming. It'll be interesting to see how Elon handles it. We all know, how unpredictable he is. But the TikTok, it'll be interesting what the young kids do if they can't say what they want on TikTok. If they will go somewhere else. Where? Very interesting. So let's just go through the X feed for the day. All right. Excuse me. I don't know if I have COVID or something. Jeez. Okay. The first post, Greg Wycliffe. He's responding to this tweet. You need to be very. This is a conservative MP saying you need to be concerned about Bill C8 It allows Melanie Joly, the industry minister, to kick anyone off the internet with no trial, no warrant. Worse, you won't be allowed to say you've been kicked off, why you've been kicked off. You won't be allowed to say you've been kicked off. Okay. This is the Emergency Measures Act on steroids, only permanent and secret. So, this is like a new bill for like hacking and like to deal with foreign hackers and stuff like that. And some of the provisions are like if like systems are compromised, or if there's somebody they suspect, they can like what's it say? It says prohibit a telecommunications service provider from providing any service to any specified person. So, yeah, that's another bill that's coming that could be like a censorship type bill. I don't know. It's supposed to be against hackers, but this is the problem with Canada. Is what he's saying too is if Pierre Poilievre and the CPC would have chosen the bang the drum of Trudeau tyrant over and over after the Freedom Convoy, then Conservatives would be in a much better position right now to oppose legislation like this. It's a lot harder to mobilize the public to be afraid of literal impending tyranny if all you've been talking about for the past 3 years is economy and carbon tax. Yeah, so we're in this position in Canada where they're going to try and do like internet censorship and hate crime legislation for online and offline, and the Conservatives haven't done anything as an opposition party for the last 3-4 years. They've been just talking about the carbon tax and axe the tax and direct flights from Emirates are. So yeah, he's right. We basically have no opposition. It's the uniparty, I guess. Uniparty getting all this stuff through. Here's another one on C8. I know many of you have seen this, but please understand this paragraph from Bill C8. This means that Melanie Joly has the power to not only remove someone's access to the internet if she feels it necessary, but stop them from ever having access as well without any due process. It's weird, yeah. They're pushing bills like this just to see how far they can get away with things. If she feels you made a nasty post on X, it could spell the end of you online. It's worrisome to say the least. Yeah, so prohibit a telecom service provider from providing service to any specified person. Direct telecom provider to suspend providing for a specified period any service to any specified person. That's crazy. Alright, next post here. This is in Ancaster, Ontario. Driving a $60,000 Durango and stealing from Home Depot. They come to our country and live a life of crime. They need to be deported. I'm almost certain this is the second time I've seen a video with that white Durango in it. The guy getting his head rocked on the tailgate was karma. So yeah. Okay, let's see. This is weird phenomenon.
You guys are fucking kidding, right?
Whoa!
Fucking arsehole, you fucking deserve.
Let's
Are you
watch
guys
it.
fucking kidding, really? You guys are fucking kidding, right? Fucking arsehole, you fucking deserve it. Fucking arseholes.
So they covered their license plate there a little bit. Usually in the States, it's the black guys running out with all the shit. But here it's the Indians. But I think they think because, like, they seen videos of security staff doing nothing and people saying, leave them alone, leave them alone. They figure, hey, that means we can take stuff. Because you've seen it at the liquor store too. The LCBO, they do that. But I know it's not just them. I know there's white people too, like probably crackheads that do it. But that's, we don't need everybody doing it here. Especially if you just came to the country, you probably should be on your best behavior. All right. Sure, we'll see many videos like that. Is that by Hamilton, eh? Okay. So we're talking about censorship. So this is what this guy's saying. This is an Israeli politician, Yair Golan, openly declares that the next step is imposing strict controls on social media, blocking anything authorities label as propaganda. He insists that this is a global issue and calls on the United States to lead the way in pushing the same kind of censorship. Golan specifically names X, demanding its silence voices he considers a worldwide threat. Yeah, X, I knew they were coming after X for a long time. They came after Tik Tok, now they're coming after X. But this is pretty crazy the way they talk. And he's not just one single guy, like a lot of people in the Israeli government, the Canadian government, think like this.
Is to put restriction. The next thing we will do, is to put restriction on the social media in a way that not allowed to make brutal propaganda in the social media. Because this is a worldwide problem. And it should be initiated by the United States of America, the place where all the big firms is settled. Facebook and X and all the rest. This is a major problem for democracy all over the globe. And we need to treat it seriously. We can do it.
So yeah, major problem. Free speech is a major problem. I think they just don't like it. They don't like being peasants talking on social media. Okay, next. But that's what they're saying. That's going to happen. Carney gets asked, this is Carney still in the UK. He gets asked if Canada is considering a digital ID. After listening to this, it's almost certain that we're getting one. When someone gets asked a yes or no answer, usually start with saying either yes or no. Carney goes into a convoluted non-answer and then lies at the end. Let's see what he says here.
Not to have ID. Right.
Paul Walde from the Globe and Mail. Keir Starmer's introduced a digital ID card. He wants to make it mandatory as a way of controlling immigration. Is that something Canada might consider?
Well, Paul, one thing I would put in terms of context is the UK is relatively unique in not having other forms of identification. So there's been a long history here not to have ID. In Canadians, we have various forms of ID. We have driver's license. You have social insurance license. You have forms of identification. So now, are there merits to having common digital identification for government services, for you say immigration, also for financial services, portability, other aspects? There may be. We don't have current plans for that.
No current plans, but I think the way they're going to do it is for the provinces, like Alberta, Ontario. They're already bugging people to get like voluntary, like you can. It's like for your convenience to digitize all your records on one app or something. So I think they're going to try to do it like instead of like a national one like the UK, because UK is more of a federal state, like a federally controlled state, whereas Canada's got the provinces do. So I think they'll do, if they're going to do digital ID in Canada, they'll do it through the provinces. The federal government will flood them with this money saying, here, just like they did with the COVID vax passes, they set it up province by province, which is basically a digital ID, the vax pass, if it was applied to other walks of life besides the vaccine. So that was his answer. You could tell he was like, oh, we're going to do it. It's just we're not going to admit it. We're just going to make it look like it's convenient and you're crazy if you don't want it. So, but yeah, they're already working at the provincial level to get people interested in digital ID for the convenience. Okay. They said the vax passes were convenience too, I guess. And here's a good reason to bring in digital ID. Remember, create the problem and offer the solution. So Canada's failing to count how many overstay their visas. Population growth is 3 times higher than Ottawa's official estimates, because a large number of people who were supposed to leave the country aren't being tracked. So you get it, aren't being tracked. So there's a good excuse to bring in the digital ID. So if you're not a citizen or a permanent resident, no digital ID for you. I don't know how that works, something like, but I'm sure they'll use that as an excuse. Their incompetence. So yeah, we got digital ID, censorship. Why is it all creeping up all of a sudden? Okay. Because they're afraid. They need to keep going. Keep shutting us up. All right. Look at this Canada story. This is a good Canada story. Oh my God. So 3 gay guys in a polyamorous relationship were allowed to adopt a child in Canada. Gay people should not be allowed to adopt children. They made their choice. So I'm like, commie degenerate Canada, because like only in Canada really could this commie degenerate stuff get We're like a big experimental lab for the globalist degenerate ideology. And I know they say, oh, it's better than leaving the baby in the orphanage. I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that. Pretty sure the baby would be probably better off in the orphanage.
They say they're
Let's
sharing
see
the
what
responsibilities.
I want to read this or listen to this.
For the last 7 years, Jonathan Bédard, Eric Leblanc, and Justin Maheu have been waiting to become parents together, something that
7
officially
years.
happened yesterday.
She's perfect, of course. Like any, she's curious, she's energetic, she loves to play, she loves to jump, she loves to dance.
They adopted their 3-year-old through Quebec's Youth Protection Services, but first had to be approved as foster parents, something that required a lot of work and openness, they say, to their relationship.
We had a lot of things to go through in order to be able to have that accreditation, and it's through that process that they learned that we are a little different because we're 3, but we're not different from any other family.
Some other Canadian provinces, including Ontario and British Columbia, legally recognize more than 2 parents. Quebec does not. Last April, a Quebec Superior Court judge ruled the government has a year to modify the civil code to allow a child to have more than 2 recognized parents, saying the current situation is unconstitutional and violates the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms since it discriminates against different family models. Quebec is appealing the decision. The Justice Ministry declined our request for an interview, saying they won't comment since the matter is in court.
We think that either way it might go all the way to the Supreme Court, but we're saddened from the fact that we're not backed by our own government, which is supposed to be an open government that wants to help every single family.
While the law doesn't recognize all 3 as parents, they say they're sharing the responsibilities.
All right.
For the last 7 years.
That's interesting. Basically, they were up front and said they were in this threesome, and the Quebec adoption agency let them adopt it, just with 2 parents, not 3. But I did not know Ontario lets more than 2 parents on the register, which is crazy. Doug Ford's Ontario. Isn't that crazy? And now they're going to take Quebec to the Supreme Court. And you know what? The Supreme Court will probably rule in these guys' favor. But all kidding aside, I don't think that kid's going to. I don't know. We'll have to check up on that kid in 15 years. They might prove us wrong. Might prove us right. Hopefully, I don't know. But I think this stuff like this, it's going to normalize stuff like this in the long term. Like, yeah. Yeah. That's Canada. We're the what's the word? The experimental, the lab for all this stuff. Okay. Here on the other side, from Quebec, we go to BC. I saw this picture today. I said, this picture's got to be like one of those art things where they do like a photo shoot. But no, this is a real picture. 5 people overdosed simultaneously at the same place and time in English Bay, NDP Liberal Harm Reduction Paradise, Vancouver. Let's see this picture. Look at that. That can't be real. And then there's a little girl behind there. I thought, no, this gotta be a fake picture. But no, it looks like it's legit. That's horrible. Vancouver, BC's gone to shit. Third world Canada. Next. So, this is an interesting post. So, U.S., they're in a little tiff with India, and they're saying they're basically kicking out the H-1B workers, the temporary workers from India. And Carney was asked about it today. Let's see.
For Canada, and we're going to take that into account, and we'll have a clear.
So he's asked if we're going to take
attract people who the opportunity to attract people who previously would have got so-called H-1B visas, and I'm going to simplify it. One of the big cohorts is in the tech sector. Not as many of those people are going to get visas to the United States. And these are people who have lots of skills, they're enterprising, and they're willing to move to work. And so it's an opportunity for Canada. And we're going to take that into account, and we'll have a clear offering on that.
So, yeah. You understand there's going to be like millions of Indians that are going to have to find a different place to land than the States. So, I'm sure he's going to announce some program, like he said, to take advantage of this. So what's Kirk say? Canada will be trying to capture some of the talent cut out from the H-1B visa changes in the U.S. The opportunity to attract people who would have previously gotten H-1B visas will have an offering on this soon. Excellent news to the thousands of Canadians who can't even get a job in Canada's tech sector because similar programs already exist here, replacing them with cheap foreign workers. So, yeah, he's basically saying he's going to let more in. And I think, like I said, that's where this censorship in Canada is going to go. It's going to go against people like Dominion and Second Sons that are anti-immigrant or anti-mass immigrant. Third world immigrant. They're gonna go after them as like hate crimes, especially when they complain about stuff like this. Okay. Next post. All right. I can't believe you're promoting remigration. You're making foreigners uncomfortable. And it's like, yeah, that's the complaint people are saying about Dominion society. Remigration. And Greg is like, yeah, that's the point. The era of Canadians acting like Mohammed and Sanjay's little helper is over. It's time to course correct and help ourselves. Not sorry. Yeah, we gotta definitely change the conversation, but you still get called racist for not wanting the Canada be turned into India. You still get called racist for that. Gotta change that. I thought this video was good. It's about the Canada's veterans. Let's see.
Veterans better is because keeping.
This is the real reason our government doesn't take care of the veterans.
It made sense.
I am not usually a conspiracy theorist, but I have one cooking and I genuinely believe
This
it.
makes a lot of sense.
I wholeheartedly believe that the reason the government does not take care of our veterans better is because keeping our veterans in a place where they're constantly having to survive instead of thrive means that they are far less likely to be able to participate in a form of resistance against the government. And I think that their input in a resistance would be our best shot at actually
Tell me
overthrowing
this doesn't make
authoritarian
sense.
government.
Stay weird.
Thoughts, comments, questions, concerns?
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, history shown, like especially after World War One, the veterans groups can cause a lot of trouble to the government if they get organized. Okay. All right, here's Netanyahu. I think we haven't seen him yet. We'll talk about TikTok. He's talking about TikTok. Netanyahu's mission briefed American influencers today, stating TikTok is the most important weapon in securing Israel's right-wing support. Weapons change over time. The most important ones are the social media. The most important purchase that is going on right now is TikTok. I hope it goes through because it can be consequential. That's Larry Ellison, IDF supporter, buying TikTok. He also bought like CBS and Paramount and everything too. Netanyahu also noted X is crucial, emphasizing Elon Musk is not an enemy, he's a friend. We should talk to him. Let's see.
We're going to have to use the tools of battle. You know, the weapons change over time. Christian influencers. Okay. You said, we talked about the woke right, and he said, I call it the woke Reich. That's a brilliant observation. The woke Reich, because these people, you know, they're not any different from the woke left. I mean, they're insane. But they're actually meeting on some of the things. And what we have to do is we have to secure that part of the base of our support in the United States. That is being challenged systematically. A lot of this is done with money. Money of NGOs, vast. Money of governments, vaster. Okay? We have to fight back. How do we fight back? Our influencers. I think you should also talk to them if you have a chance. To that community, they're very important. And secondly, we're going to have to use the tools of battle. You know, the weapons change over time.
Mm-hmm.
You can't fight today with swords. That doesn't work very well. Okay? And you can't fight with cavalry. That doesn't work very well. And you have these new things, you know, like drones, things like that. I won't get into that. But we have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefields in which we're engaged. And the most important ones are the social media. And the most important purchase that is going on right now is TikTok. TikTok, number one. And I hope it goes through because it can be consequential. And the other one, what's the other one that's most important?
X.
Exactly. Very good.
Cesspool.
And, you know, so we have to talk.
It is a cesspool. I love it.
He's a friend. We should talk to him. Now, if we can get those two things, we get a lot. And I could go on other things, but that's not the point right now. We have to fight the fight, okay? To give direction to the Jewish people and give direction to our non-Jewish friends or those who could be our Jewish friends.
Direction.
Are we going to succeed with everyone? No. Will there be a strong counterpart? Yes.
The hats are cool. I bought two.
All right.
They were made for legit.
So that's him basically saying we need to censor anti-Israel opinion on the internet. So, like I said, that's going to be the focus in the States, anti-Israel, and in Canada it'll be anti-immigrant. Like in the UK, it's anti-immigrant. They're going after the anti-immigrant crowd. in the States are going after the anti-Semitism crowd. All right. Next. Dominion Society. Transforming the demographics of the country through 10 years of unfettered immigration is radical. Wanting to not only put an end to it, but to also correct course is completely normal, actually. So yeah, people are freaking out. We saw like this Niagara anti-hate group were freaking out over a Dominion poster on the Legion bulletin board. They're freaking out over that. And it's like they're the ones talking sense in the immigration policy, and you guys are acting like we're saying something radical. It's very normal. All right. This next one. Has to do with the censorship in the States. They're going to call whoever disagrees with Israel woke right as an insult because, woke left. The term woke right has always been nothing more than a smear against right-wingers who don't support forever wars and Israel. That's it. This is why when asked to define the term, its defenders sound like retarded children. But yeah, forever wars too include not just in the Middle East, but Russia against Russia, forever war against Russia, which probably I don't think is a good idea. But yeah, that's what they call you. Now they're going to try and censor us. Hopefully Elon holds ground. I know he ain't perfect, but this guy's on X all day. What the hell's his name? I don't even know what his name is. He's got some retarded name. But Charlie Kirk hasn't even been dead a month, and they already got his little shill replacement traveling the country. They couldn't wait a month. Brylan Hollyhand. What kind of name is that? All right. So, Globosaurus. You see in Netanyahu, he goes to New York and he acts like he runs the States. Well, we have, instead of Netanyahu, we have Soros running Canada. So with this globalist experiment that's called Canada. So you see how that works? The Zionist Netanyahu controls Trump. The Soros controls Carney. Every base is covered. Vaughan, I was saying this the other day. What's going on in Vaughan? There's like shootings and home invasions all the time now. Here's a new thing. Gunman seen shooting at 2 Vaughan homes in video released by police. Yeah, I'm not going to read it because it's the same shit. It's just, I don't know what's going on in Vaughan. Maybe there's people with money in Vaughan and all the thugs drive up there to rob them. I don't know. But Vaughan ain't such a nice place to live now, it seems. Here's Benjamin Netanyahu again. He's gonna talk to his friend Elon to get some censorship going on X. I love X compared to like Facebook and whatever else. It's hilarious. I love it, but hopefully Elon doesn't change it too much, or at least if he does change it, hopefully he makes it better. Look, yeah, this kid went on Brylan Hollyhand, like worst name ever, but weirdest name ever. But look at this. He's got such a fake smile too. You ain't no Charlie Kirk. Okay, there's another scholar. Human trafficking in Toronto. Horrible. Deport. Okay. Now this is what bugs me. I saw this video the other day. This guy's a commie. Stephen Guilbeault. He's very hardcore environmentalist. Now, I don't know what he is. Culture minister? Yeah, Ministry of Culture and Identity. Oh my God. And he basically said we're going to see an online harm, like a new online harms bill, like a hate bill or censorship bill. They tried doing it last Parliament and it died. So let's see what he says here.
Online harms. I have myself worked on that through We've made a commitment to combat online harms.
Online
I have myself
harms.
worked on that during my first passage at Heritage between 2019 and 2021. Many of my colleagues have continued on that. We tabled a bill in last Parliament, C63, that was aimed not specifically at online harms, but also modernizing the criminal code. So we will be introducing measures to address hate speech, terrorist content, and the harmful distribution of intimate images.
Sending the right to get an abortion back to the state.
So harmful, obviously, harmful distribution of intimate images. Obviously, nobody likes that. Like, but the thing is, like, the hate speech. What do you say? Hate speech.
Introducing measures to address hate speech, terrorist content, and the harmful distribution.
So yeah, terrorist content, hates the intimate pictures. Is, you know, maybe you can say something about that, but the hate speech is the one you got to be watching for, because they're going to say, oh, you're anti-immigrant, that's hate speech. So yeah, that's what's coming. I feel it's coming. It's coming. Not just in Canada, but States, Europe, everywhere. Because I think what they next whatever they want to do next, like it's like when COVID came, they unveiled all these mandates and measures and censorship galore, like crazy censorship that we're just been over for not many. We're just getting it over now, so I think they're going to clamp down again, so they can proceed with whatever plan they have. Who knows what like war, or who knows what kind of plan they have. So that's the vibe I was getting today. So I guess that's it for tonight. Got to keep an eye on these guys. We'll have another broadcast tomorrow, September 28th. Until then, have a nice night. It's supposed to be a nice day tomorrow, so make sure you get out and enjoy it. See you then.